Good evening and welcome to Art Keller Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin for a game between the Carthage Athletics Firebirds and the University of Chicago men's soccer. It's a beautiful night here. It's a beautiful day here in Kenosha, about 70 degrees, and we're looking forward to a really good game here tonight. It's going to be a tough one for Carthage. University of Chicago has a very, very strong program. They've started out extremely strongly this season. They've not yet lost a game. They've played 10, so they're coming into this game at 10-0. In fact, they're ranked currently by the United Soccer Coaches of America as the #1 Division III program in the country. So it'll be a tough task tonight for Carthage, certainly, although these two teams did play last season and Carthage went down just 1-0 in defeat. So a lot of these players have seen the University of Chicago before and have had a competitive game with them, so hopefully they'll be able to bring that confidence into tonight's game. This game tonight also sees lots of players of the week coming in. Aiden Crowder for the Carthage Firebirds is the Conference CCIW Player of the Week, the Offensive Player of the Week coming in. He had goals in all 3 games last week. In fact, he's got four goals in the last 3 games, including 2 that he had versus Carroll at Carroll College. So Aiden Crowder is one to watch for Carthage. He's the CCIW Offensive Player of the Week. The University of Chicago, on the other hand, also has some Players of the Week coming into the game. Richard Gillespie, the defender, was the Defensive Player of the Week in the United Athletic Association awards this week, and they also had Ryan Yedashevsky, who's their leading scorer, who was the Offensive Player of the Week, I think for the 2nd week in a row. In fact, he had 3 goals, a hat trick in a game versus North Park last week when University of Chicago won 3-0. So he had all 3 goals after halftime and was the Offensive Player of the game. So a couple of strong players certainly for Chicago, the 10-0 record, undefeated coming in here. Carthage comes into the game at currently on the season 5-4-2, so they've had a little bit more mixed results, although they are 3-0-0 undefeated so far in conference play. 2 first-year coaches going at it this time as well. First-year coach Paul Lease for Carthage and first-year coach Julianne Sitch, who comes to University of Chicago after some time working in the NWSL as an assistant coach for the Chicago Red Stars. She's also worked in the United States youth setup. She was an assistant coach for the U16 girls national team for the United States too, so she has quite an impressive coaching resume coming into this, her first season as a University of Chicago head coach for the men's program. So the 2 teams are getting ready on the sidelines. Coach Lease has his team huddled up, as you can see there on the screen, and they're just getting ready to come to the center, and the referees and his assistants will be leading the 2 teams on the field, and we will join our public address announcer who will give us tonight's starting lineup. So should be a real good one tonight, University of Chicago versus Carthage, right here at Art Keller Field in Kenosha, and we'll have the starting lineups for you momentarily.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Art Keller Field for today's game between the University of Chicago Maroons and your Carthage College Firebirds. Let's meet today's starting lineups. First, the visiting Maroons. At defense, number 2, Jack Luker. At defense, number 3, Richard Gillespie. At defense, number 4, Griffin Wada. At defense, number 5, Nathan Moonsing. At forward, number 7, Kai Walsh. At mid, number 11, Tanner Baldwin. At mid, number 13, Robbie Pino. At forward, number 14, Ryan Yedashevsky. At midfield, number 15, Naz Kubakny. At mid, number 24, Lyndon Hu. And in goal for the Maroons, number 0, Will Boyes. The head coach of U Chicago is Julianne Sitch, and she is assisted by Michael Morrow and Kevin Schmid. And now the starting lineup for your Carthage Firebirds. At forward, number 3, Mason McCaw. At forward, number 7, Trevor Molitor. At defense, number 13, Quinn Roth. At forward, number 19, Mickey Riley. At mid, number 20, Nick Renfro. At forward, number 21, Aiden Crowder. At defense, number 22, Colin Moran. At defense, number 23, Joe Ballas. At mid, number 26, Eli Schofstall. At defense, number 27, Omar Cordova. And in goal for the Firebirds, number 0, Tino Corhonen. The head coach of Carthage is Paul Leese. He is assisted by Colton Water and Cale Brown. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
So there we have the starting lineups for tonight's action. Carthage going with a pretty familiar starting lineup. It's one that Coach Leese has used many times in the past. Not many surprises there. He'll have Colin Moran and Joe Ballas in the center of defense, with Omar Cordova on one side and Quinn Roth probably on the other side. He's played a little center back, but will probably play in that outside back position. He's got Renfro and Schofstall as kind of holding midfielders, with Mickey Riley as the attacking midfielder, Mason McCaw and Trevor Molitor as the two wingers basically playing for Carthage, and Aiden Crowder, who has scored the most goals for Carthage this season with 6, will be the central striker in that setup. As I mentioned, there are some pretty strong players coming in for the University of Chicago as well. Ryan Yedashevsky, who I mentioned in the opening as the Offensive Player of the Week for the conference, has 6 goals already this season. In fact, University of Chicago has scored quite a few goals in their 10 games. They've got 22 goals so far in their 10 games, and they've only given up 5. So that's a pretty good goals for advantage, obviously, in terms of those 10 games, to only have given up 5 games, only giving up about a half a goal a game. And in fact, they just won their first conference game. They're coming out of their first conference game, which was at the University of Rochester in New York. They won that game 1-0. They outshot Rochester 15-7 in that game and didn't allow Rochester a shot in the final 26 minutes of action. So they're a very strong team already with a winning record in their conference and have not yet been beaten this season. So Carthage will see if they can use their home field advantage here to try to rattle the University of Chicago and give them their first loss on the season. Not a conference game for either team, obviously, just a friendly. So the two teams are in their conference seasons, but they'll certainly use this as a measuring stick, at least the Carthage will, in terms of how well they can play against a team with the strength of the University of Chicago. University of Chicago has kicked us off here, so we are underway. Under the lights here, as you can see. It's a beautiful day up here in Kenosha anyway, about 70 degrees or so. It reached this afternoon, although obviously a little bit cooler tonight, and we're right here by the lake in Kenosha, so we do get that little bit of a chill off the lake. It's probably a little cooler on our campus than it is in other parts of the city and the nearby areas. There's Tino Korhonen. He's the freshman goalkeeper. This will be a big assignment for him. I'm sure he'll be busy this evening getting a lot of shots, but he's been up to the task so far. Carthage has played 2 different keepers really this season. That one goes out to the right-hand side. Quinn Roth is there. The University of Chicago maintains possession at midfield. Try to go into the box there. Joe Ballas, who's played some steady defense all season long, is the first one there. He knocks it out of bounds, but it does go off of the University of Chicago player, so it looks like that will be a throw-in to Carthage. Roth will be taking that throw. As I mentioned, number 14, Yedashevsky, is their leading scorer. You can see him there lurking essentially as a center forward, looks like, in this setup. University of Chicago is playing a high center forward with a couple of attacking mids behind him. Looks like they've got 4 at the back, a traditional 4 at the back. At least currently they're in a 4 at the back. They may be playing 3 at the back with some wing backs. We'll see kind of how that plays out as we go here. It goes into the middle. Over in this right-hand side, that's number 11, Tanner Baldwin, who tries to find a way through. Trevor Mauder makes a nice play on the end line there. Mickey Riley looking for a way out, but he makes a dangerous pass into trouble in front there. Nick Renfro, the senior captain, was in the right place at the right time. He's a junior, I apologize. Nick's a junior. Nathan Moonsing is on the right hand of the defense, right side of the defense. Griffin Wada. It looks like maybe they are playing 3 at the back with a couple of wing backs. Here's Nathan Moonsing, who's one of those wing backs. Tries to find someone in the corner. It's a nice cross there, but it does go all the way out of bounds. That was Tanner Baldwin with the cross. He's a junior from Vienna, Virginia. University of Chicago really has players from all over the country. Many states of the union are represented there. It's a school with certainly national reputation, not only in soccer, but also obviously in academics as well. Great institution there on the south side of Chicago in Hyde Park. But they do play in Division III. As I mentioned, they are the #1 ranked team in all of Division III, according to the United Soccer Coaches poll. So a very, very strong program. And Carthage will be looking to measure themselves. Nice ball up the side there. Aiden Crowder has a little running room. He takes a shot and this forces the goalkeeper into a save. That goalkeeper is Will Boyes. So good run there by Carthage to get a shot on goal. At least that's really the first shot of the game, so got to feel good about that. A nice through ball there with Aiden Crowder making a nice run down that right-hand side. Carthage bench approving of that hustle there. Mason McCall will take the throw. Tries to find Crowder downfield. But it is collected back there. Try to go down the center. Carthage clears. Trevor Molitor now on this left side. Trying to find a way through there, can't quite find it. And there is a foul on the Carthage player, so that'll be a free kick, which is taken quickly by the University of Chicago there. Moving it around confidently. They have a, looks like a very strong defense. That's a clean play. Riley tries to go long there, trying to find Molitor. Now Molitor does get that ball. Mickey Riley's making a run beyond him. Excuse me. Some good hustle down there, but referee called a foul down there in the corner. But a good hustle play by Carthage to try to get some action down in that final third of the pitch. University of Chicago again trying to find a way through that Carthage defense. It goes into the center. Colin Moran is there. Joe Ballas is there for that one. There's Moran again. Omar Cordova tries to go upfield. Crowder playing right on the shoulder of the defender, but not able to find a way through. He comes back out to this side. And they'll try going up this left-hand side again. Tanner Baldwin, who's had some joy up this right-hand side, had a nice cross that didn't quite make it all the way to the goal, but made an effort there. Naz Kabani trying to way through. Mickey Riley picks it up though. But loses it there in midfield. Carthage has played mostly kind of a counter-attacking style, so they'll be probably comfortable giving University of Chicago most of the possession, especially in these kinds of areas of the pitch. They won't mind that. They usually tend to sag a little bit, and they're maybe sagging a little bit deeper even than they normally do, although they're holding a relatively high line there, trying to play a little offside trap. University of Chicago has had lots of possession in midfield, but so far have not found a way through that Carthage defense. And Carthage tends to, as I said, sit a little bit deeper as they're doing now. We've got all 11 behind the ball. Try to go long there. It gets into the box, but it is headed away. And a little bit of a scramble for the ball there. Chicago comes away with it, tries to center. That was Baldwin, who has been playing up this right-hand side, but found himself on the left there. Tried to sneak one in on his left foot, and it did go off a Carthage player, so that'll be a corner kick to the University of Chicago. Looks like number 24, Lyndon Hu, is out there, going to take this corner. It's into the center, all the way across. And centrally, there was a shot there. I think that was Naz Kabani who got that shot off, but It was easily saved by Tino Corhonen. Nice ball, nice control by Aiden Crowder there. They try to play Trevor Mahler up that left-hand side again, but couldn't quite connect. Nice play along the sideline here. There's a through ball and a shot. Ooh. That was Ryan Yadashevsky, their leading scorer, number 14, who took that shot. He got into a really good position just on the inside the 18-yard box, and a hard shot, but blasted it over the net. So Carthage dodges a little bit of a bullet there. It was a real nice through ball that was played. That was number 13, Robbie Pino, who played that through ball. Showstall finds Riley. Riley tries to find McCaw on that right-hand side. He's running for it. Not able to get there, though. It's shepherded out of bounds by the University of Chicago player. I think that's Jack Luker out there, number 2. Gets it back in quickly, and University of Chicago moves upfield once again. So Carthage has weathered the first 10 minutes anyway without giving up a goal, so they've got to feel pretty good about that so far. They've given up one probably fairly dangerous opportunity, but they've also had an opportunity. Aiden Crowder had a good shot, at least as good as the University of Chicago shot so far. The Maroons are looking tough, though, for sure. Colin Moran that time clears his line, gets it out of bounds, and University of Chicago uncontested there as they go over midfield. Trying to find something. Yadashevsky chasing there with Quinn Roth, but it does go all the way out of bounds, so that'll be a Carthage goal kick. As I mentioned before, Corhonen, Tino Corhonen is the Carthage keeper. He's a freshman. He's from Rovaniemi, Finland. An international student, and has won the starting job here with Coach Lees in his first season. And that ball did go out of bounds. Not sure if it was out of bounds on the sideline or looks like it went all the way down for a goal kick. It was kept in bounds here on the near side. And Carthage again drops 5 to 10 yards deep within their own half, just kind of waiting for University of Chicago to come on. They're going to try to counterattack. That's been primarily their strategy, to have some strong defense and try to hit the other team on the counterattack. Mickey Riley with a nice interception there. He tries to find some space for Molitor, but it is defended effectively. Griffin Wada is back there on the defense along with Richard Gillespie. Gillespie, as I mentioned, is the defensive player of the week in the UAA this week. Quinn Roth trying to stick with Jack Luker over there. The Maroons trying to find something centrally. They've tried that route a few times now, but haven't quite found their way through. The Carthage defense and midfield is pretty well packed in there at the back. They'll be looking to just kind of hold on to this 0-0 and then get a few opportunities and hope to capitalize on those opportunities when they find them. But they've got to keep the Maroons out of their goal to begin with. That will be the biggest challenge. Carthage has scored more than they have given up so far this season. 18 scored and 16 given up, so they do have a +2 goal differential on the season. It winds through there, and a shot is released. Tino Corhonen with a nice save there. That was Robbie Pino who came up with the ball there and was in a good position and took that shot. Corhonen with a nice diving save. Had his angles played effectively there, and was able to pretty easily make that save. I don't know about easily. It was a good save. Carthage playing that same game still. Haven't changed anything tactically. Into the center, Yadushevsky turns his defender. Makes a nice little move there in the box. But some nice defense there by Carthage. That was Cordova who was playing on Yadushevsky and stuck with him in the box there. So he is the danger man, certainly, for the Maroons. So good to see that strong defense. Eli Schofstall, a freshman who's got a lot of playing time in the center of midfield there. Quinn Roth tries to head it away. Didn't quite get it cleared. He just sort of headed it straight up in the air, but Joe Ballas is there to clean it up. He goes all the way up that right-hand sideline. Mickey Riley now has it, looks around trying to find a teammate. He comes all the way across to Omar Cordova here, who finds Molitor. He lost there, though. And now Chicago has it. Trying to move up that left-hand side. Quinn Roth trying to stick with him, and he does. It does go out of bounds, though, so that'll be another corner kick. It looks like Lyndon Hu, again, is taking that corner kick. He has picked that ball up and is heading over to the corner, looking to get something in the box here. Carthage has 10 men in the box and only 1 man high. Far side. It was headed in there. Richard Gillespie was on the end of that on a header. He headed it across the goal, and there were several Carthage players in the area. Cordova now. Mickey Riley's making a run up that left-hand side. It looks like he might be able to get on this ball, and he does. He cuts it back. Tries to go long and across. Mason McCaw was making a run from pretty deep. He does get it in the far corner, trying to make a move there. He does get it centered, but it doesn't get through the Chicago defense. Quinn Roth now has it. Cordova. And University of Chicago has possession once more. Carthage looking for some way to get through there. Mickey Riley this time picks it up in midfield off a bad pass. Schofstall trying to free Molitor. Good idea, but there was pretty strong defensive contingent there. But Carthage has now gotten through more than 15 minutes. They've had a couple of shots on goal, University of Chicago so far. They have 5 shots so far on goal, or 5 shots total, 3 on goal so far, and lead in 2 corners to 0 as well. Carthage has 1 shot on goal. As I said at the outset, Chicago tends to really dominate in terms of shots, and especially the kind of strategy that Coach Lease is playing. It makes sense that they would have the lion's share of possession as well as in terms of shots as well. Trying to loft that ball across the center. Good play by Carthage to get it out of there. McCaw now trying to find Crowder, but it's in the wrong direction. Into the center. Cordova's there, though. It is picked up, though. That's Tanner Baldwin. Kabani tries to find something over the middle, but Korhonen is in position. So he picks that up, looks downfield, trying to figure out whether to play it short or to go a little longer downfield. Looks like he's going to put it on the ground anyway. And he plays it short. Ballas over on that right-hand side. It is tipped there, but it does go off of the Chicago player, so that'll be a Carthage throw. On the far side, Quinn Roth is lining that one up. In fact, Mason McCaw now will take that throw in. Referee adjusting the position of the throw in there, which Colin Moran takes in the center of the field, basically. Molitor to Cordova, goes back to Moran, looks to see where to play it, decides to go back to Cordova. Nice little play there on the corner. Mickey Riley scrambling in the center, Trevor Molitor doing the same. Tries to go far side, but it is intercepted there. Both of the central midfielders have been pinned pretty loose. There's a shot that comes all the way through the center. There's a barge from the back. Yadushevsky was called for the foul there. Making an aggressive play, trying to get through Cordova for the ball. So that'll be a Carthage free kick. Colin Moran goes back to take it. He decides to go long downfield, trying to find Molitor with his head. Schaffstall with a good defensive play there to win the ball back for Carthage. Cordova tries to go far side, but it kind of went between Roth and McCaw over there. Neither one of them were in that position. A little bit of a miscommunication there. It comes all the way through. That's Baldwin trying to find a way through himself. Down in the corner there. And it looks like a foul right in the corner, I believe is what was called. It was a foul there on Carthage, so that will be a free kick, I believe, or maybe it's just a corner kick. No, it was in fact a foul. He's taking that a few feet off of the corner flag, so that will be a free kick, but for all intents and purposes, it is in the same place as a corner kick would be. A little bit closer. Comes centrally there, and Joe Ballas takes it off of his chest. No problem. Jack Luker was the one who took that free kick, and now he'll place it just a few yards further back for a corner kick, but essentially from roughly the same position. There's that corner in-swinger. Headed out of there. I think that was Renfro that got it out of there. I know it was Ballas, I apologize. And it goes out of bounds on the far side. That'll be a Chicago throw. It looks like maybe they're going to try some kind of a long throw play here. As we've talked about, these are becoming increasingly popular in the soccer world right now. It seems like they're a bit of a fad. Jack Luker, who just took the corner kick on this side, will now take the long throw from that side. Comes all the way into the center. Nice long throw. It's put back in, kind of lofted back through, and Moran is forced to clear that. Blasted into the center there by Lyndon Hu. That time it was Renfro that cleared. Chicago with some fancy footwork over there. It's number 7, Kai Walsh, who's playing in that left wing position. Kai Walsh called for the handball there. Kai's a freshman, in fact, from San Diego, California, Torrey Pines High School. So a freshman getting the start for the #1 team in the country in a starting attacking position. It's blasted out of bounds there, but Carthage will have a throw in. They may try a long throw of their own here. Mason McCaw, #3, he's their long throw specialist. So he'll be trying to get that all the way to the goal if he can. Carthage has loaded 7 players in the box. Comes all the way through. Mickey Riley's right on the edge there. He lines it up. Ooh, a beautiful shot off of the crossbar. It's bouncing around still, and that ball goes in! Oh, the referee is waving it off. There was an offside on the call. Offside on the play. So no goal, but Carthage had one in the net there, but it was called back for offside. That'll be good for their confidence, though, just seeing that they can score there. Mickey Riley had a wicked shot that came off of the crossbar. And it bounced out there, and I believe it was Colin Moran who, or a couple of Carthage players on the spot. I think it was maybe Moran who got that second ball, got that rebound there off of the Riley shot. But a wicked shot for Mickey Riley, who was just outside of the 6-yard, or outside of the 18-yard box, and just really rifled one in there. Aiden Crowder is going to chase this one. Ooh, and he does almost get there in time, but the keeper, Will Boys. Cordova now at the back. Tries to play it centrally. Schaffstall back to Ballas. Trying to go centrally, but it does get picked up there. That's Naz Kabani. Kabani's been kind of everywhere so far in this game. He's really a active player in midfield. The center a lot of what the Maroons are doing so far, I'd say. Trying to find a way down the right-hand side here. That was Nathan Moonsing. They're going to take a throw here. Tanner Baldwin lining it up. He takes it short. All the way across. And they decide to come all the way back to Griffin Wada at the defense. A little bit of a tricky touch there. Lyndon Hu, who's one of those holding midfielders, along with Kabani. Tanner Baldwin this time. Goes centrally. Carthage is getting close to catching them out on one of these passes. McCaw tried to make a little play to Crowder there, but couldn't quite get it to work. Some good defense there. That was Nick Renfro, I think. But that will be another University of Chicago throw. So the Carthage starting 11 has been under pretty consistent pressure, although they have had a few opportunities of their own, including a goal that was waved off for offside. So far, they're the only team that's had the ball in the goal, which has got to feel good. There's a shot from distance. That's Lyndon Hu, and that was pretty well wide of the goal, so that'll be another Carthage goal kick. No substitution so far for either team. Coaches both sticking with their starters so far. They are approaching the 30-minute mark, so you might see Seen some Carthage players at least warming up on the side, and appears a couple of University of Chicago players are warming up as well. So we may see some substitutions in these last few minutes here. Ball goes high. Mickey Riley's the first one to pounce on it. Omar Cordova goes all the way back to Corhonen, who has to make a little move. Just barely got rid of it there. That was a little bit dangerous. Probably don't want to make a habit of making moves 2 yards out from your goal, but that one worked. Here comes Chicago again. Griffin Wada is double teamed there. Molitor and Crowder pick the ball off him. There's back to Molitor. Mickey Riley now. Back to Molitor. Really nice break there. Molitor couldn't quite pick it up, but it does go off of Chicago. So some really nice interplay there. Crowder, Riley, Molitor all involved in that. All three of the forwards put together a nice passing sequence to move up the field and to almost get a shot. Molitor couldn't quite sort his feet out there at the very end and ended up going down. But this will be a corner for Carthage. Mickey Riley's lining up to take it. He does. Headed out of there by Chicago. Cordova picks it up. Kind of a bouncing shot. It's always a little bit tricky for a goalkeeper. That one apparently got a deflection off of a Chicago player, so Carthage will have another corner kick here. This will be their second of the game. Riley is there again along with Molitor. They play this one short. Riley trying to find a way around the corner there, and he takes a shot from distance, but it's pretty far wide. It looks like we will have our first substitution of the game here now. I believe that's Christian Inestrosa, who's coming on for Carthage. And he'll be replacing Mason McCaw on the right-hand side of midfield. That is the only substitution for Carthage. And as you can see there, Kai Walsh goes off. Cameron Bloy comes in for University of Chicago. Bloy is a senior. There's a cross, a little off though from Tanner Baldwin. Trying to get something into the center there. Carthage has been pretty stout in the center of defense. They haven't really given up maybe that one shot to Yadashevsky, who is a talented goal scorer, as we know. A little trouble getting out of defense here. It's held in by Chicago. Eventually gets clear. Crowder, though, picks it up in the center of midfield with some good hustle. Can't quite hold on to it there, and he's hustled off the ball. Chicago has some excellent midfield passing. They've got some great passers in there. Now they're coming up the left-hand side. They cut it back. There's a shot there and a goal. Lyndon Hu. They got into that left-hand corner and got the goal.
By number 24, Lyndon Hu.
So there you have it from the PA announcer, Lyndon Hu. With the goal, Lyndon is a sophomore from Acton, Massachusetts. A goal for him. And that's his third goal on the season. So he's the second leading scorer now for the University of Chicago Maroons on the season. Nice shot from distance there. They got down that left-hand side. I think they were able to cut it back, and who stepped right up and blasted one into the lower left-hand corner of that goal. Or right-hand corner, I guess, really. So Carthage lasted more than 30 minutes before giving up a goal. The goal comes at the 32-14 mark of the first half. So they made it 30 minutes without giving up a goal to this tough Maroons team, but now they're down 1-0. We'll have to find that equalizer. Love to get that before halftime if they could. They have had some opportunities. Mickey Riley trying to find something up the left-hand side to Molitor. Nothing doing there, so Chicago comes back. Into the center there, that's Robbie Pino. They've got a lot of kind of interchangeable midfielders there. Nice play by Molitor. He finds Renfro, who tries to find Molitor with a return pass, but doesn't quite make it through. There's Tanner Baldwin again, trying to find Yadushevsky. Can't do it, but he does get it back. Here's Baldwin now with some space. He finds Cabani there in the center. It bounces around with yet more of that good Chicago passing. They're really able to work that ball around. Yadushevsky now trying to get on that ball, but does go beyond him just a little bit. So Tina Korhonen digs that ball out, ready to send another goal kick out. He takes it short to Ballas. Tries to go long to Crowder, who's playing that centrally. Renfro this time goes back to Moran. All the way back to Korhonen. He finds Quinn Roth, who's able to control it over there, sort of. Ballas keeps it in. There's a foul there on that far side. So that will be a Carthage free kick. So under 10 minutes to play now here in the first half in Kenosha. Score is University of Chicago Maroons 1 and Carthage Firebirds 0. Carthage did score a goal, but it was ruled out for offside, unfortunately. Had a shot off the crossbar in that same sequence, so they have threatened. Looking to do that again if they can here before halftime. There's a foul right down the center, right in front of the referee. That's not a good place to foul usually. Moon Singh. To who, the goal scorer? To Cabani. Christian Inestrosa, though, gets it away. Aiden Crowder with some good hustle there to make that an out of bounds to Carthage. Looks like the University of Chicago is preparing a couple of subs, although with this Carthage possession, they'll probably have to wait until the next stoppage in play. And out in space there's a foul. And it looks like there's going to be potentially a card here. The referee has stopped the clock and has called one of the Carthage players in, not sure who exactly. It looks like that's Nick Renfro. So Renfro will get that yellow card. He basically just a little bit of a hold there. He was trying to stop the progress of the University of Chicago player, and usually those kind of jersey grabs or holds in the middle of the field will result in a yellow card, and that was the case there. It's usually kind of an automatic yellow, so not a surprise necessarily. Some good defense there. That's Griffin Wada. He's really a strong defender at the back. Between Gillespie and Wada and those two central defensive positions, they really got a lot of strength. There's Kabani, who kind of drops back and sort of a holding midfielder, but he also seems to be playing kind of centrally in defense sometimes. They're pretty fluid back there. Goes into the center. Roth is able to get to that ball, but it comes back in and across the front of the goal. A little bit of an effort there from Yadashevsky. Almost got on that ball, but it was a little bit out of bounds. So we've got a few more substitutions on the field here from both sides coming in and out. Looks like Kevin Riley, older brother of Mickey Riley, is on in this left wing position for Molitor. He has been playing a little bit there in the last few games. Also plays some left back occasionally. Ooh, there's a hard foul in the middle of the field. No card there, but it was a pretty hard foul. Yadashevsky went out. Alex Lee came in. Tanner Baldwin came out, and David Martin came in. Those were the two substitutions. Oh, and Griffin Wada also went out. Michael Johnson came in. So those were the three substitutions for Chicago, and just the one for Carthage. That was Kevin Riley for Trevor Molitor. So just two substitutions thus far for Carthage. Carthage looking a little shy at the back here. Through the center. Korhonen, though, is out off his line. Makes a nice diving save. Coming up on the 5-minute mark. So far the shots 8-4 in favor of Chicago. Shots on goal 4-1 in favor of Chicago. So they have had more threat so far in this first half. Through the center though, Riley's mopping up on defense. He comes around now and picks that ball up on this left side. Riley's a real hustler. He's got a great motor, as they say. He never stops moving. And he and Crowder have been rewarded with the entire half up front in terms of playing time. Both the wings, McCaw and Molitor, were both subbed off. Enestrosa and Kevin Riley coming on, but the two central players, well, really all four of the central players for Carthage have remained in the game for the whole first half. Crowder at the center of attack, Riley just in behind him, Renfro and Schaafstal just in that holding midfield. Korhonen trying to find Renfro. Schaafstal picks it up on the second ball, though. Crowder using that speed. It does get taken off him, though. And dribbles all the way back, almost to the Chicago keeper, Will Boyes. He hasn't had much to do, really, this half. He had made one early save, and been pretty quiet back there since then, other than the one disallowed goal, which was really off of a set piece. Riley goes back. Korhonen comes out and kicks it upfield nicely with his left foot. Mickey Riley with some good strength there and distributes it out to Quinn Roth, who takes a little run upfield, finds Strosa, who comes across to Schaffstall, who now has a little bit of space. He goes to Cordova, takes it back. Nicely played there. Kevin Riley and Cordova with a little interchange. Kevin Riley tries to pick that ball up, but is beaten to it. And who loses it there? Strosa trying to find a way across to Mickey Riley, who's making a little run down the center. And Chicago brings it back once again. It's David Martin now, one of the substitutes with the ball, and he goes to Michael Johnson, another of the substitutes. Chicago's had a lot of substitutions, but no significant drop in quality. Nice play there by Riley. Crowder now has it on run, but as Richard Gillespie is Johnny on the spot there, is able to clear that ball out. Looks like Eli Schaffstall is going across maybe, and they're maybe going to try a long corner. Just over a minute to play, as you can see here in the first half. 1-0 to score. Carthage would love to get an equalizer here going into the half. And try to make things even as they go into the break. Schaffstall, long throw into the box, bounces around there. Carthage gets a kick on it. Oh, and Riley with a diving header. Mickey Riley, that was. Just couldn't quite get the angle on that header, but a good effort again. Carthage has had some opportunities there, especially off those set pieces and corners. They did put one in the back of the net, but it was ruled out for offside, and no VAR in Division III, unfortunately. So we'll never know, but we'll trust the referee on that one. So the half is winding down. UC is trying to get one more opportunity here. There's a shot from distance. That goes out of bounds. And so at the end of the first half, the score at Art Keller Field in Kenosha is University of Chicago 1 and Carthage College 0. We'll be right back after this halftime break. And we are back from Art Keller Field in Kenosha. This is John Bruning with the game tonight. So far, it's been a well-fought contest. Carthage down currently 1-0. University of Chicago with that goal at the 32-minute mark. Lyndon Hu was the scorer. The assist on that one was to Naz Kabani. That's Hu's third goal of the season, making him the second leading scorer for the Maroons. The statistics from the first half show some dominance from University of Chicago. They had 9 shots to 5 for Carthage, as well as 4 shots on target to only 1 shot on target for Carthage. Of course, they did get one off the post and also one disallowed for an offside. The possession stats also favored University of Chicago, 60-40, 59-41, so pretty close to 60-40 in terms of possession in that first half as well. Carthage went pretty shallow on the bench. Only 2 substitutes were used. Kevin Riley and Christian Strosa came in and got a few minutes kind of at the end of the half. Strosa actually played 14 minutes. Kevin Riley played 6. University of Chicago also kept a pretty short bench. They only had 4 substitutes during that first half as well. Corner kick story was pretty even. Maroons had 3 corner kicks. Carthage had 2. So not a big advantage there for one side or the other. But we're just about ready to get underway here for this second half. It has cooled off a little bit here tonight. It's certainly a lot cooler than it was this afternoon, and and even a little cooler than it was at kickoff tonight. So Carthage will try to get a goal back here early on if they can to try to equalize this game against this real tough University of Chicago Maroons squad. As we mentioned, University of Chicago currently has a #1 ranking nationally for Division III schools and is undefeated at 10-0 going into this game. So certainly they're the favorites here tonight. Carthage, though, has put up a good fight. And certainly only that one goal that they gave up, and that was a real good shot, too, really, from Lyndon Hu to get that goal. Long throw here. Mason McCaw does bounce into the keeper, but Will Boys able to easily bring that one down. Carthage does hustle back, though, and Eli Schaafstall picks it up in the center midfield, although it Karam's, unfortunately, they're off of Schaafstall. Almost snuck through there. University of Chicago. Schaafstall got a good play and then was kind of got an unfortunate bounce there, I think. Here's McCaw now on this side. Takes it down real nicely. Renfro goes far side to Molitor. They're kind of looking for that cross-field pass a little bit, looks like. Maybe that's something that Paul Lee saw in the first half, that he's trying to instruct his team to look for those kind of longer diagonals out to the wings. They're certainly trying to find those at least early here in the second half. It's David Martin, who stayed in the game. Not the same starting lineup for the University of Chicago. It looks like Carthage has gone back to their original starting lineup. Yadashevsky there gets a nice through ball, but I think that was Joe Ballas over there in defense. Came off of him. So Chicago, the Maroons, will have their first corner kick of the second half, just about 2 minutes in. As we said, they did have one more corner kick in the first half, 3 to Carthage's 2. There's a in-swinger. Korhonen standing right in the center of his goal, picks it up, but a real nice bend on that corner. Could have gone in, I think, if Korhonen hadn't been in position. He goes long downfield on this near side. McCaw trying to corral it with his head and find Quinn Roth, but couldn't quite make that work. Jack Luker throws it in. That's Richard Gillespie. As Cabani playing right in the center of that defense, although he does step up into midfield occasionally as well. Cabani's a senior from Manchester, England. Playing here in the States. There he is with the ball right in the center of the field. Carthage is sagging off a little bit defensively, just trying to conserve their energy and keep their defensive shape. Mickey Riley with a nice hustle play, trying to find Crowder down the side, and he forces Gillespie to knock it out of bounds. So McCaw will take that throw. Been using the midfielders to make these throws, especially the long throws, but he tries to go down to the corner and that ball goes out of bounds. A little miscommunication there, perhaps, in the Carthage front line. There's Schaafstall, Renfro lets it go out of bounds. McCaw this time goes long and back. Scrambling a little bit at the back, so they go all the way back to Korhonen. Tries to go upfield. It bounces dangerously into the center there. Oh, and there was a foul call. Cameron Bloy was the recipient of that foul. Luker and Who are over it. Who drives it in the center. There's a shot. That was Cameron Bloy, who was fouled there, who, well, eventually found his way out to him, but he rifled one over the net. And Korhonen sets up another Carthage goal kick. Crowder's been hustling well tonight up front. Hasn't had a lot of service, but what he has had, he's made the most of. Got a lot of speed up there. This one comes all the way across. It takes a little bit of an awkward hop, but Will Boys is there. Moonsing over on that far side. Kabani now will try to find something over the top. Yadashevsky hustling down there, tries to keep it in, but it does go out of bounds. Good hustle from him, but unable to keep that ball in on the end line there. Didn't look like he'd get to it, and he almost did. We saw at halftime the upcoming games for the Carthage program. This Saturday, there's a doubleheader here at Art Keller Field. The women's team, the Firebird women's soccer team, will be playing at 5 o'clock, and the men's team will be playing at 7:30 on Saturday. Both teams will be taking on North Central. So important CCIW games right here at Art Keller Field on Saturday this week. Carthage women's team still looking for its first win, although they're on the road tonight. Haven't heard anything yet about what their score is. And a nice shot from the far side there. A sliding goal. I think that was Yadashevsky who got that one.
Maroon goal scored by number 14, Ryan Yadashevsky, assisted by number 5, Nathan Moonsing.
So Moonsing to Yadashevsky there. Yadashevsky getting yet another goal. That's his 7th goal of the season. And that puts the Maroons up 2-0. So Carthage has a little bit deeper hole to dig themselves out of now. Moonsing to Yadashevsky on that one. That was at the 52-23 mark. So just over 7 minutes into the second half. A really nice assist there coming from the far side of the field, and Yadashevsky with a real nice sliding play on the ball there for the goal. Beautifully done. So Carthage may have to get a little more adventurous here on the offensively if they hope to get a goal and get back in this one. Try to make a game of it here if they can. It really has been fairly even so far. But Chicago starting to impose their will a little bit more here so far in the second half. Carthage hasn't had much of a opportunity yet in the second half of this one. A lot of possession here. There's Kabani again. He really seems to be their quarterback, kind of at the back anyway. Gillespie as well with a real nice pass in there. All the way through the center, there's a shot. And it does go off the post, it looks like, and Korhonen didn't get a touch on that one, so it goes all the way through and off the outside of the post, and it'll be a goal kick for Carthage. McCaw now to Crowder. Comes back to McCaw. It's just hard to find those passes in midfield. As up the center here, Korhonen comes out. There was an offside, though, on the play. Yadushevsky, real aggressive there, and the center, and he was just a step offside. On that occasion, Korhonen will take the free kick. Getting tougher to find those loose balls in midfield. Still hustling, though. And it comes all the way back to Cavani. Gillespie. David Martin playing in the center of midfield, too. Tanner Baldwin with the cross. Nice play there by McCaw defensively. Ball goes all the way across and out of bounds on the cross. So Chicago continues to produce pressure on the Carthage goal. Carthage having trouble finding a way forward at the moment. There's a header by Roth. He goes in for it again. Ballas picks it up nicely. Goes long downfield. Crowder chasing. Now able to find a way through. There's David Martin on the ball. Cabani. Out of bounds on the far side. Omar Cordova will take that throw. Rand goes back to Cordova. And it does go out of bounds. So that'll be a throw. I think Tanner Baldwin's going to take that throw. He goes back to Moonsing. To who? And gets the return. And Chicago continues to dominate possession here, especially in this part of the field. Kind of the middle third of the pitch has been sort of dominated by the Maroons. That ball goes out of bounds. Or actually, I guess there was an offside there potentially. And so that'll be a free kick. Here comes Roth up the right-hand side. Crowder can't find a way through. Cavani's been looking for that ball all night. He's found it a few times. This time Carthage with a good effort by Mickey Riley gets it upfield. Got a substitution here. Looks like Schuffstall's coming off. And Christian Inestrosa comes back in. Christian had, he said 16 minutes in the first half, so he got a little bit of playing time there. And looks like he's dropping into that kind of midfield role where Schuffstall normally plays. Long throw by McCaw. Can't get anything going there. That'll be another Carthage throw. Nice header there across by Ballas. Another header in by Molitor. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. Yaduszewski now, he's got a break on it. Quinn Roth is in front of him though. Plays it back to Korhonen. Under pressure from Yaduszewski, he gets it clear. Here's Mickey Riley. And now it's on this near side. Luker, Gillespie, Cabani. This time he gets it through there, but it does go all the way out of bounds. Nice ball out there to Tanner Baldwin. He couldn't quite control it. And Carthage will have the throw deep in their own half on the far side. Tries to go into Inestrosa, who's not able to keep it in bounds. And Chicago regains possession. Looks like Carthage is readying another substitution. Kevin Riley's on the sideline there. Inestrosa with a nice sliding tackle. And there's eventually a foul there. Come all the way back for a Carthage free kick. We'll take that and a chance to get upfield a little bit here maybe. See if they can find some space going forward. Shots on goal still 6-1. Carthage just with the one shot in the game. It was pretty early. Aiden Crowder had a attempt on goal fairly early in the game. Mickey Riley hit one off the crossbar from distance. Trevor Molitor trying to find a way through there, but it goes out of bounds. He loses track of it. Some good defense. And Moonsing steps up to take that throw. Carthage certainly hasn't given up in any sense. They're still giving lots of effort for Coach Lees. Just finding it difficult to string together any meaningful possession really so far in the second half. They're coming up on the 25-minute mark, so they have played 20 minutes. Carthage just giving up the one goal. Yaduszewski on that second half goal. Get the throw in and a shot, but it does go wide. And that'll be a goal kick. And it looks like a substitution here. It looks like Mason McCaw is going to get a break. Kevin Riley's coming on. Excuse me. Looks like Riley's going to play in the kind of on the right wing here this time. Nostrosa. Crowder tries to turn, but he's held up there. You have Chicago coming centrally, but nice play by Moran that time to get the ball out of there. It does come back quickly, though. Mickey Riley now tries to find Crowder on that little crossfield run. Almost gets there, but it is played all the way back. Now here comes Gillespie. Finding Cabani. Nice defensive play there by Colin Moran. Kevin Riley plays it back, but no one's making the run that time. Quid Roth, the nice play off the chest. Carthage just showing some token pressure, but not too much, really. Just waiting till about the football 40-yard line there, about 10 yards deep in their own half to apply that pressure. There's a foul called on Richard Gillespie. An interference type call, I think. The referee was explaining it to him, which is helpful. And Chicago winds up again. Interception this time, Trevor Molitor tries to go centrally, just couldn't quite get it through though. That was Kabani with the defense that time. He's been on the ball a lot, but that time he added a strong defensive play there as well. Really a all-around player, Naz Kabani. Free kick here. Referee called a foul. We're just past the halfway mark, hitting 22 and a half. 2-0 our score here in Kenosha. The University of Chicago Maroons with the lead. Their #1 national ranking and undefeated season, so far at least, look to be fairly safe, but there is still 20 minutes to play, so you never know what could happen. Just the other day, it looked like Carthage was going to get a win in their last home game, up 2-0 in that one. Game against Kalamazoo that was here on Saturday. Carthage was up 2-0 at about this time of the game as well. They scored their second goal a little bit later than this, I guess, and then Kalamazoo came back with two, one within a minute or so after the Carthage second goal, and one just with about less than 10 seconds on the clock. That was a real heartbreaker for Carthage. Should have probably gotten the win, but ended up with a draw on the two late goals from Kalamazoo. Carthage has had a very difficult non-conference season so far this year. Difficult in that they've played some very good teams and started out the season against Washington University of St. Louis, another ranked team, and here against the University of Chicago, the top-ranked team. So they're certainly not hiding in their non-conference games. They're playing some very strong opponents, which I'm sure Coach Lease will see as a development opportunity for his players to take that experience of playing these really strong teams into the CCIW, and so far at least they've been able to win all those games, 3-0 and at the top of the CCIW conference so far this season. So under 20 minutes to play here, still 2-0. Nick Renfro went out for Eli Schaufstall. That was the last Carthage change there. I think Yadashevsky has gone off for Chicago as well. Bobby Pino has also gone out. Kai Walsh checked back in. Yadashevsky went out and Michael Johnson checked back in. So some of the substitutions we've seen, the subs we've seen already. But some of the starters being replaced here in the later stages of this one. Carthage, as I mentioned, will go back into the CCIW. For their next game against North Central, which is also 1-0 in conference play. So neither one of those teams has lost a game yet in the conference, so that'll be a matchup of great importance, one would think, in the final standings of the CCIW. I'm sure Coach Lease will be looking forward to that one. Riley now coming centrally. Tries to make a long pass to his brother. Does come through though to Cordova. He's looking for a cross. He's just not able to quite get his feet sorted out for that one. And it does come off of Cordova again. So Carthage had numbers in the box, unfortunately. Some good bounces of the ball there, but it just didn't quite come together for them. Looks like Mickey Riley's going to get a little breather here. Carter Boberg is coming on. Aiden Crowder, it looks like, will also get a rest. So we'll see who comes on for him. Looks like Zion Smaja, perhaps. Oh, sorry, Noah Smaja. I don't know where I got Zion from. Oh, looks like that's maybe his brother. That is Noah Smaja. I apologize. So the two leading scorers for Carthage are getting a little break here. I'm not sure if that'll be their final action of the game. Mickey Riley and Aiden Crowder both going off in that last substitution, with Noah Smaja coming on and Carter Boberg also coming on. Noah's a senior from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Carter Boberg is a freshman from Plainfield. I think that's Giovanni Guadarrama over there too. Looks like he's come on. Carthage getting an opportunity there, but not able to capitalize. Yeah, that is Guadarrama on the far side. He's come in at left back there. Cordova has moved over right back, and Quinn Roth was taken off in that last substitution round. So a little bit of movement on defense, although the two center backs, Moran and Ballas, stay in. Enestrosa and Renfro now in midfield. Molitor on the left, Boberg on the right, Smeja up the center in the attacking formation. Cabani really plays at the center of that back three. Through ball there. Nice defensive play by Ballas to poke that ball back to his keeper. And that goes out, and there'll be a Carthage throw. Nice play by Riley. Some hustle there by the elder Riley. I mean, Sean is really the elder Riley, I suppose, is their older brother. Also played in the program here at Carthage. A family tradition of Riley's playing for the Firebirds. Foul down there. Not sure if the referee showed a card, or I think he was just having a conversation there. I'm not sure if he... Oh, there was a yellow card. Alex Lee. Got that. Didn't see the card, but it was produced. So now Carthage will have a free kick here. You'd think they'd want to line this one up, take their time. It's about 40 yards out. So they'll put a number of players in the box here. Cordova's there, Schuffstall also there. Looks like Cordova's going to take that. And he does. No foul there. Colin Moran went down, but it looked like maybe he had just tripped. Referee was in a good position to see it and immediately signaled that there was no penalty on the play. Chicago's getting a little more sloppy with the ball. Carthage getting a hold of it a little bit more frequently here. Another substitution. This time Quinn Roth is coming on for Omar Cordova. So Roth comes back in now at right back. Guadarrama stays at left back. And the substitution is made. Roth immediately will take that throw. Out of bounds, he'll do it again. Oop. Ref felt that the ball was moving there, so he'll bring it all the way back. Carthage wanted to take it quick there, but maybe he took it a little bit too quick. Ball needs to stop. Ref felt that it was rolling, which I think may have been the case. So it's right at midfield. Quinn Roth takes it over to Guadarrama on the far side. Schuffstall now trying to find a way through. Michael Johnson goes forward. Alex Lee trying to find a way through there, but it does go out of bounds to Chicago, so they'll have a throw on this side. Jack Luker's coming up to take that. He does. Nice little through ball there. Corhonen comes out off his line and really makes a nice play. Makes himself big there. Spreads out nicely and is able to block that ball. Corhonen's really had a pretty good game. Had a number of shots, but he's been in the right place pretty much all night long. Neither one of the goals could certainly be considered to be his fault necessarily, and Chicago has had 13 shots, 6 on goal, so it's been a busy night at the back for Carthage, defensively and in goal for Tino Corhonen. Roth to Riley. Riley with some good hustle there to get that ball. Back to Roth. Goes centrally, but it's easily picked up. Will Boyes. Drops it short to Kabani, who comes over to this side. That's who scored the goal in the first half. Carthage is readying a number of substitutions there. They've got 4 players over on the touchline. We're under 10 minutes to play now. It's drilled at the back. Moran off of the Chicago defender. So it looks like the Carthage starting players will come back in, at least most of them. McCaw's back in, Crowder's back in, Riley's back in. Renfro and Schaafstall back in the center of midfield, so Kevin Riley has moved over to the left wing position, so he's taken Trevor Molitor's spot from the starting lineup. Other than that, it's pretty much the starting lineup now that's back in for this last home stretch of the game, last 10 minutes. See if they can get back in this one. There's still a little bit of time left. It's certainly possible. Chicago trying to find a way through there. Crowder up to Riley. Gives him something to run for. Kabani with a nice turn there. Renfro, Roth. It's intercepted though. Kai Walsh, who's playing in the attacking midfield position now. Ryan Shea has come in. He's playing at the central striker position. Nice ball around the corner there. Got a little run. Comes out to this near side. That's Luker. Corhonen is there. Another nice save by Tino Corhonen. Yet another one. There's been a lot of shots on goal here, so Corhonen has been pretty busy. Chicago has 7 shots on goal, 14 shots total. So Corhonen has 5 saves on the night and has had to make some pretty tough ones along the way. 7 minutes here to play. Carthage still looking for that initial goal. University of Chicago has 1 in each half so far. Somehow finding a way through there. It's David Martin, who's doing some good work offensively for UFC. And that'll be a Carthage throw. Goes out of bounds on that far side. It's like another substitution there. David Riley goes off and Molitor comes back on. So now we're back to the original starting lineup. Molitor back in there. He takes that ball on. Bounces around, but is controlled again by the Maroons. Carthage just haven't really found a way to get much possession, especially in that final third. Not much possession at all, I guess, generally, but it's been tough. Chicago has so many skilled players on the pitch, really in every position. Very strong squad. Impressed by the University of Chicago. Julianne Sitch, their coach. As I mentioned, her first year on the job as the head coach. Coming from the Chicago Red Stars, she's got that NWSL experience as an assistant coach there. She has an excellent coaching resume and is doing a great job here at the University of Chicago as well. Yet to lose a game as a head coach. If they hold on tonight here, she'll be 11-0. Pretty good start. But I think Coach Lease will be happy with his squad's performance tonight. I mean, a really steep hill to climb, certainly, against this Maroon squad, who's ranked #1 nationally. Roth with a nice play there. They really stuck with him. Aiden Crowder trying to go centrally. Mickey Riley gets kind of locked up there. He does get back to the ball, though. Still sticking with it. Really good hustle by Riley. Molitor tries to get in a position to cross that ball, but is knocked down. It comes to him. Like he's going to leave it for McCaw. They'll try another long throw with under 4 minutes to play. They could get one here, you never know. Might be able to get a second somewhere. Certainly be their hope. Long throw by McCaw. Drops in the box and is knocked out again in exactly the same position, so McCaw will wind it up and try it again. Goes a little bit further this time. It's fumbled there, but only momentarily by Will Boys. Maroon keeper. So under 3 minutes now. Moran steps up nicely. Crowder had 2 players on him there in midfield. No foul there. Chicago bench really yelling for one. Oh, down in the zone. That was Michael Johnson with some nice offensive work there. Got a shot off in the end. Booted off the UFC player and out of bounds. That'll be a Carthage goal kick with under 2 to play. University of Chicago's next game, the Maroons' next game, will be a home game against Emory. That'll be a conference game. In fact, they've got 3 conference home games coming up. This Saturday, the 8th, they'll take on Emory at home. Friday, the 14th, against Carnegie Mellon, and Sunday, the 16th, against Case Western Reserve. So they've got 2 games this weekend, one Friday and one Sunday. Or that's next weekend, I guess. This weekend they just got Emory, and that's on Saturday. As I mentioned, Carthage has a game also coming up on Saturday night, 7:30. They'll be taking on North Central in their next CCIW game. They are undefeated so far in CCIW play and are first place in the standings for the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. So they'll be trying to maintain that against North Central, who is also 1-0 in the conference. So that should be a good game on Saturday. Preceded by a women's game. The women also taking on North Central this weekend, Saturday at 5 o'clock. So both those games will be right here, live on the website, live streaming. Or you could join us here at Art Keller Field on Saturday night. So just a few seconds left here, less than 30 seconds to go. Mickey Riley's lining up this free kick. Carthage looking for a consolation goal. It bounces around, and they'll be unsuccessful there. Oh, they did get a last-second goal. Colin Moran. So good vibes on that one. Last second, literally the dying second. Colin Moran gets the goal in the dying seconds. And so we have reached the end of the game here, I believe, or have we? Referee discussing it with the coaching staffs here. And that is it. So that's the game here from Carthage. Final score here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. 2, University of Chicago to the Carthage Firebirds 1. I'm John Bruning. Join us here again on Saturday night for men's and women's games, 5 and 7:30. And we'll see you then.